If you're going to glorify things in society, it should be the mother in the intact home and the wife and the caretaker at home, not the girl boss. That's insane. And it's a societal death sentence. Walsh knows it. Everybody knows this at this point. If you can't reproduce your own nation, you don't have a nation.
In this debate, Andrew Wilson goes head-to-head with feminists, challenging everything from gender roles and family structure to birth rates and modern feminism. What makes this so wild is that Andrew Wilson wasn't just arguing, and he was flipping the whole conversation. So yeah, let's go through it together. I'll share my reactions throughout and explain why Andrew Wilson made such a strong impact. Let's hear this intense debate between Andrew Wilson and this panel of feminists.
I want to bring in another clip from a debate between Megyn Kelly and Matt Walsh on the similar theme. Let's watch a little clip from this.
Again, having said that, I like the guy. I'm getting a little tired of his nonstop judgment of women who make different choices than the ones he wants us to make. Sorry, Matt, you're not our Jesus. We don't answer to you. Like, live your life the way you want to live it and stop judging everybody who makes a different choice. I'm sick of it.
Covert feminist.
And she went on to say this about young men not wanting to marry career women. Let's take a listen to this.
We're now telling young, conservative, amazing women that they're not attractive if they also work. If they choose to, let's say, do what I'm doing and what you're doing and like get their voice out there. But I'll stick with me just because I think conservatives listening to this will like the thought of another Megyn Kelly voice up and coming.
Now, Matt Walsh responded by saying men are generally not attracted to ambitious career. Well, hang on a minute. I want to read a clip from Matt Walsh, or a quote. He said, men are generally not attracted to ambitious, career-driven women, and women's first priority should be children and looking after the home. So, Emily, what do you think of that? If you've ever felt like you're being watched online, it's unfortunately because you are. Hundreds of companies, so-called data brokers, watch and record everything you do on the internet. Even if you're using incognito mode or private tabs, they can still access every purchase you make, every search you type, and much more. Your data can be sold to advertisers, government agencies, or insurance companies who could use it to charge you more. You could stand by and accept all of this, or you could reclaim your privacy, as I have done for many years with ExpressVPN. The app redirects 100% of your online traffic through secure servers. No data brokers and no third parties can see what you do. ExpressVPN also hides your IP address, without which there is no way of tracking you and no point invading your privacy in the first place. A new feature called ID Defender is free to all US customers. ID Defender scours the internet to remove your information from the files of data brokers. This is the #1 rated VPN by experts at CNET, PC World, and The Verge. And right now, you can get an extra 4 months of ExpressVPN for free. To scan the QR code that we're showing on the screen, or go to expressvpn.com/peers to get 4 extra months for free. That's expressvpn.com/peers. Now, on with the show.
I think the beauty about free will is you make a choice who you want to spend your life with. Like, I know many men are okay with, a woman who works, and I know many men are not. And that's the great part, is you choose who you want to partner with. So if you want a woman to be home and have 5, 6, 7, 8 children, which is a beautiful choice to make in life, then go for it. If you want a woman who can do both, work and have children when she's ready, 2 or 3 children, then go for that type of woman. If you want a woman who's never home and going to be on the road all the time, and trust me, there are many beta men who would love that, then go for that. Like, nobody is forcing you to be with a woman that doesn't cater to your needs. The same way no one's forcing any women to be with a guy like Andrew Tate that's going to beat you and make you miserable. We have choices, and we need to make calculated, wise choices as to what personally is best for you.
The Andrew Tate fallacy, instantly moving over to Andrew Tate is evil and a representation of men who believe in a patriarchal system. Here's the truth. The truth of the matter is that we should be doing for society what is socially good for society. If we can't reproduce our society, that's a really bad social ill for society. When you have propaganda that is telling women to go get useless degrees in psychology and sociology.
It's not for society.
Yeah, that's great. Let me finish.
It's actually
Andrew,
it's quite sad.
hang on. Just Andrew, quickly. Is Megyn Kelly a covert feminist then?
Not covert, overt. She's an overt feminist. Covert's out for Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly came out and said women should be prioritizing career over family. That's what Matt Walsh's issue was with her, and he's absolutely right. The guy struck it out of the ballpark. Socially, in society, we should be moving women into a familial role.
I don't know about you guys, but Andrew Wilson is kind of saying what a lot of people think but are scared to say. Like, Andrew Wilson isn't anti-woman. He's just saying, hey, we should maybe stop pretending career over family is the only win. I think Andrew Wilson is bringing up something that really matters here.
It's not to say that women can't work. Nobody's saying women can't work. We're just saying that if you're going to glorify things in society, it should be the mother in the intact home and the wife and the caretaker at home, not the girl boss. That's insane. And it's a societal death sentence. Walsh knows it. Everybody knows this at this point. If you can't reproduce your own nation, you don't have a nation.
Yeah, this part right here from Andrew Wilson, that hit. I mean, you can't even argue with that logic. If we stop having families, then what happens to the future? And Andrew Wilson just says it like it is, straight up, no fluff.
Do you know how...
Okay, Julie, you wanted to jump in there.
I mean, do you know how insecure and pathetic you sound? You can't take you seriously.
Eat another donut, lady.
I'll just finish. I get that you reckon that you're some big shock jock, and I know that you're desperately trying to be relevant, but you sound so insecure and so pathetic. You are
Do you
irrelevant.
have an
Very
argument?
insecure.
Can you put the Duncan down for a second and give me an argument? Do you have an argument?
Okay, yeah, this part made me laugh because Andrew Wilson was being hit with all kinds of personal stuff, and he just calmly asks for an actual argument. That's peak Andrew Wilson right there. Just cool and holding his ground while everybody else is flailing.
Or is it just
Sorry,
Andrew
I haven't heard
bad?
one from you.
Yes, I've given you multiple arguments for the social fabric of all of society and how we can improve it, what we need to be doing, what we need to be moving towards. I gave you all the stats. I gave you argument after argument. Can you give me a single argument?
All the stats. You are the oracle. You know all about the universe and what's going to progress humankind. You're just a shock
it's
jock,
not
mate.
psychic ability.
You're just pathetic. Nobody's going to listen to you. You're an
Wendy, are you going to
aggressive,
have an
insecure
argument?
man.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
We're not
This
taking
is
you
going to go
seriously.
Well, this is going to go viral, and a lot of people are going to take me seriously, and all they're going to remember is that I told you that you couldn't put down the Dunkin' Donuts long enough to make an argument. Now, can you make one or not?
I mean, Andrew Wilson called it. Like, this debate has already gone viral. And why? Because only Andrew Wilson came in with facts, fire, and didn't back down. People want that kind of confidence. Andrew Wilson's just real about it.
Oh, you know, this is schoolboy
By the way,
tactic.
a real
It's
man
schoolboy.
doesn't speak down to a woman the way you do.
I don't care what you think.
You're not a real man.
Is.
You're actually very feminine if you ask me. You're a very feminine man.
This part was just straight up childish. You know what I mean? Like when they started insulting Andrew Wilson's masculinity, that's how you know they ran out of arguments. Andrew Wilson didn't even need to respond to that nonsense. He was already winning just by staying on topic.
Yeah, nobody cares what you think real men are.
You're pathetic, mate.
Yeah.
And how
nobody cares what you think a real man is.
That you're such a big boy by slating, bringing in personal insults about women's appearance.
I'm sorry.
Wow,
I'm sorry. You guys think that you can insult people.
When you go out
into
the big wide world from behind your macho
Well, one day when I go out in the big wide
there.
world, I hope people will take me as seriously as they do women who make zero arguments.
Wait, why are you on
show
Piers
like
Morgan? Shouldn't you go be working right
Why
now,
are
making
you?
money for your family to
I
support?
am
How do you have
working.
time to
Making
I'm
a ton of
working.
money.
I don't
What
have
are you
kids.
talking about?
I don't have a husband.
You're
I'm
saying
23
that you
years
can't
old.
make
I'm not
money?
married with kids yet, but
you
it
can't
seems like
make
you should go
money
be working
podcasting?
right now to fulfill your gender role as a big, strong man.
I am working right now.
Oh, we'll get to work.
Well, let me ask.
You're not being paid to be here.
Yes, lady. I'm going to get paid a lot of money ultimately to be here. You have no idea what you're talking about. If you saw my bank account, what I make doing stuff like this, it would make you weep.
Show us your bank account to make yourself feel more secure.
It would make you weep. Yeah, hey, the only thing you could think of was to try to assault my bank account, lady.
Assault?
That's it. That's the only thing you can think of. The only thing you can think of is you don't work enough. You don't work enough. It's ridiculous.
Let me play. I want to play Emily. I want to play Emily a clip. This has gone viral too. It's had 120 million views. There's a woman who suggests she's about to leave her husband because he doesn't do enough domestic chores. Let's take a look.
If you do not participate in an equitable way in your home, and so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage.
Look, I get it, but the way Andrew Wilson would probably respond is like, this is exactly what happens when we stop valuing family. And honestly, yeah, Andrew Wilson has a point. We've made chores a bigger deal than staying together. That's a wild place to be in if you think about it.
Or you don't have a happy one, at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience, and I want people to know that there's hope and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this.
I mean, Emily, I would personally, I would travel continents to avoid a lady like that. But what's your view of what she's saying?
To me, her rant, take away the gender for a moment, because I actually believe women are a lot messier than men, just in terms of our makeup, our clothing, the abundance of clothing that we have. I think we definitely purchase more accessories than men. And I think we also, like I said, there are gender roles I believe in should be responsible for most of the cleaning. Then on the other hand, if you're marrying a slob, A, you should know who you're getting into a household with. But B, if you're in a happy marriage and you have a sense of communication, why not just sit your partner down and be like, hey, I don't mind cleaning up after you, but when you throw your filthy socks on the bathroom sink or you leave your wet towel and we have mold, you know, I'd appreciate if you could not do this. But I don't think it gets to an extent where like divorce is justifiable unless your husband is like a hoarding pig that's unbearable to live with. I think she's being a little bit dramatic here. And we all can acknowledge women are a bit messier than men, and it should be just like looking after one another. It's not a big deal to clean up after your partner, and that could go both ways. Not everything is so black or white.
So yeah, say what you want, but Andrew Wilson came with arguments, not emotions. Andrew Wilson didn't get rattled. Andrew Wilson didn't start calling names. He brought stats, logic, and confidence. Whether you're a fan or not, Andrew Wilson made his case and made it loud. And now you know why the video is called Andrew Wilson Just Nuked the Feminist Narrative on live TV. Because honestly, that's exactly what happened.